What's up, friends of the good mood? This is Manni and welcome to a new War Robots video right here discussing the lags we all experience in the game for a long time now, and it's finally able to really address this with a video, okay? And I'm trying not to make this a rant video, I'm also trying to offer a solution of which I think where it all started and what we could maybe do with War Robots to make it better. And I also want to tell you what I think is the future of War Robots when it comes to lags, why I think lags are not being addressed as much as they should be. And then also, what would a new player think when he starts to playing War Robots and notices the lags after a couple of days, or a couple of times playing, you know? The interesting part is that lags are, they're equally bad for every player, but not every setup is equally affected by it. Robots like Orkans, Rhyme, Cryo, Flamethrowers, all weapons that have a travel time towards the enemy that need to be planned ahead, they are most affected because you can't plan ahead when the enemy is teleporting left and right due to lags, you know? While weapons that instantly arrive when you fire them are less affected by this. And of course, and that's the crazy thing, did you notice that lags have become a balancing factor in the game now? We have seen a clear rise of popularity when it comes to Scourge and Calamity, not just because they are doing amazingly well, but because they never miss, even if the enemy is dash teleporting around because of lags, or whatever, you know? They always hit very well, no matter how much the enemy is lagging, unless he's really lagging around you and you lose your lock on because of it. But other than that, these weapons, they kind of counter lags, and so they have become more popular. Imagine how crazy this is, that the weapons have been, the weapons are now basically buffed because the lags, right? It has become a balancing factor. This is crazy. This is as crazy as it basically gets, and yeah, it's really, really sad. But yeah, so one of my biggest problems that we have with War Robots is that the game. This is really a well-made game in theory, and it's a great production, and it could be immense amounts of fun, but there is something in the game that reduces the quality of this game drastically, to the point where it seems like an inferior product. It seems worse than it actually is because of all those lags, And if the lags wouldn't be there, War Robots would seem a much better product even. That's how bad it has become. Which is exactly what I think a new player would experience when he starts playing the game. Let's cover this topic first. There's a new player who starts playing the game now, and he does the first couple of matches and he gives the game a chance, He's like, okay, let's give the game a chance. It seems fun. I like robots and War Robots anyways, and so let's give it a chance. And he's playing the first couple of bot matches until the point where he gets to be matched with actual players. And he's like, oh wow, what's going on here? Did you see that lag? It happens once, it happens twice. After the third time in the same match, he's like, man, screw that, I'm out of here. They can't even get the servers right, That's the quality of the product part that I'm talking about, alright? And the crazy thing is, in order to show you lags, I don't even have to, prepare anything. All I have to do, basically, is start a match, and I know I will be able to show you lags, because they're always there. Lags are always in the game, and I don't have to do anything special to show them to you, because they will be here no matter what. Okay, I can't attack the carnage in the back. Did you see those many Ravanas, man? It's impossible to hit any of them. Alright, so that's the one part that I wanted to discuss. Now, when did the lags start? When did it all happen and begin, And I have an idea. I think the lags have really, really started to become crazy bad about 2 years ago with the implementation of Scourge, Spark, and Calamity. I can be wrong, but I feel like this is when it really, really, really went crazy nuts bad. This is when it really became bad. And, okay, I made him use his last stand. That was a huge success right there. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that Spectre. He almost died in one hit. This guy's trying to follow me here. Okay, he's still trying to do the storm thing. And I got it. Nice. No, no. The legs. The legs were not here this time, but, yeah. Okay. Uh-oh. Okay, I got him too. Let's fire at the Titan with double damage due to the overdrive module and see what we can do there against this guy. And one more shot and the entire Titan is finished. Wow, dude. Alright, so let's forget the gameplay. I want to talk about the lags and concentrate on this, okay? So, why I think it may have something to do with Calamity and Spark. And also the increase of firepower, increase of bullets fired by Punishers and Molots. My idea is, and this is what I'm offering maybe as a solution. I'm not sure if it's gonna work. I'm not a game developer, but I'm just putting one and one together, and basically coming up with what I think might be the reason here. There was a time when War Robots has increased the amount of bullets fired by Punishers and Avengers drastically, like really, really drastically. And then Spark and Calamity came in, and Flamethrowers came in. To understand what I'm getting at, these weapons, they have a certain way how they calculate damage. It's like a lot of ticks per second, the Calamity and the Scourge and the Flamethrower, right? They have a huge amount of ticks per second that have to be perfectly calculated. For example, I fire with Spark and Calamity at someone, and every single one of my weapons has a the damage ticks like 10 or 20 times per second, and has to be accurately calculated by the server. Every single one of those little ticks is calculated. So the server is checking, do I hit the enemy, or does the weapon hit a wall, for example, right? Is my weapon connecting with the enemy robot? Is the first thing that the game has to calculate and see if it happens. And then if it does connect with the enemy, the game has to calculate whether or not, how much damage it does. Resistance came into the game. Every damage done now has to be taken into account with resistance. So resistance has to be taken off the equation. More calculating work for the server. All those 20 ticks per second from every Spark and Calamity. And I'm running 4 of those weapons at the same time. And basically what this means is that 4 weapons with 20 ticks per second all have to be calculated at the exact same time, right? And this wants to be calculated accurately. Now imagine how much calculation work that is. Also taking into account all these, oh my god, could you please let me pass? I can't get past it. I just can't. Alright, here we go. And it has to be accurately calculated and worked on by the server. Now, here's a solution. What if Spark and Calamity wouldn't hit you 20 times per second, but instead maybe 5 times per second? And the calculating work for the game would be only 1/4 of what it currently is, right? That would be immensely helpful for the server, I think. And imagine the Punishers. Let's give the example. Let's start the example with the Molots, okay? Molots, they fire like currently. Molots are firing boom, 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 boom. That's what Molots are doing. Every single bullet wants to be calculated accurately, checked on if they hit the wall or the enemy, if it leaves a little bullet hole or mark in the wall behind the enemy, and all this. What if the Molot just fires like it looks like to be cannons, the Molots? What if they would fire without using a Titan, by the way, and while commenting and trying to do a good job at commentary, doing more than 4 million damage? Nice match. What if the... Oh, thanks. 3rd time in a row. I tried to record 3 videos before. Every single video crashed. This is the 3rd attempt of recording a video. 3rd crash in a row. This may not be purely War Robots' fault, but it has something to do with the latest War Robots Unity version. The engine Unity that War Robots is using, and no emulator can handle it right now. Just all crashing. And also mobile devices are crashing more often, which I've been told by players. So another issue that needs to be talked over. But what if... Now, getting back to the Molots and such, what if the Molots would fire boom, 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 like this, alright? The fire rate is much lower and less calculating work for the server. And what we could do instead now to, not make the weapon deal less damage, obviously increase the damage per bullet. And that even leaves us with an opportunity to balance the game now. Because, we all know that Molots, Tempest, Punishers, not so much the Avenger, but Molots, Tempest, Punishers, they really, really need a buff. They are so bad. And if you just increase the damage per bullet and reduce the fire rate, you will deal the same damage as before, but you can do it much longer before you need to reload if you don't adjust the clip size. So now the weapon would have been buffed. The weapon would have now received a buff if we don't lower the clip size of the weapon, right? So, and now you have caught two birds with one stone. Is that how you say it? You basically solved the you counterwork the lags, and at the same time you also buff a weapon that needs a buff drastically. Less calculating work. And I think the lags really started to become really worse with the implementation of the Ember and the flamethrowers that calculate 20 ticks per second and all this. And then, of course, having the other problem... oh, he's already doing this now. Having the problem with the increased fire rate of the Avengers and Punishers and all this. All these little things that put more strain on the server and that are not necessarily... that don't have to be there. Okay, we have now 3 enemies, and I will never be able to capture this beacon. Never. Not as long as all those many players are sitting around here. Okay, we're taking down this guy, and now this guy. Well, we're not really taking him down right now. What we're actually doing, we're just stalling time. He's going for me, which is awesome. That means that my other friend in his back will be able to remain there. We're actually taking out this guy too. Oh, I think I'm suppressed. Am I not? No. Alright. So that would be one way to handle it. To just reduce the fire rate of many weapons. And to reduce the tick rate. Every Ember shot, every Spark and Calamity Connect. Not ticking 20 times per second, but only maybe 5 times per second. That means the HP bar might not be going down just as smooth as we see it right here. It might look a bit different, but still. Okay, let's retry to take that beacon. We could still do it. Phew, suppressing. And now they're realizing, wait a minute, this guy's going for our beacon. No! Stop that! Yep, that's exactly what I'm doing. That's what the Nightingale's strength is. To just hop on someone and take their beacons. And boom, my beacon now. And I just killed that Leo. Now I could fly again, but I'm gonna first shoot empty my weapon, and then I start to fly. So yeah, I've spoken about a lot of things. I've talked to you guys when I thought it started. I have told you what the thoughts of a new player were in the game, how it affects the quality of War Robots itself, the very quality, how quality product it seems to be. That's what it does. And I also told you how bad it has become, that it has even become kind of a balancing factor in the game now. And if it goes that far, you know, let's say it how it is. In my opinion, and I think we are on the same page when it comes to this, LAGS should really get like the highest priority in the game. What they could be doing here is why they don't seem to be focusing the LAGS with as much effort as they should. Is maybe they are trying to plan ahead for War Robots Remastered. We all know War Robots Remastered is coming out soon, or sometime, and when it does, basically, maybe they're banking on War Robots Remastered. Not trying to fix it for this right now, for this game, but basically making sure that War Robots Remastered is going to work with less lags. When I tested War Robots Remastered, I personally experienced less lags then. In my opinion, it felt like a lot less lagging than it felt than we have in the normal game right now. That's just my idea right now. I can't say if it's correct, but that's what it felt like to me, that the lags were less severe in the War Robots Remastered. Alright, let's start to fly here. I'm going to take his damage from the explosion, but I can hit him from up here. I'm going to try and also land in the beacon, so that he can't get the beacon there. And that's it. Boom, match is over. So maybe they're banking on War Robots Remastered. On the War Robots Remastered client, I personally felt like there was less lag, and maybe they're trying to just make it happen on the War Robots Remastered. And basically not start from scratch with the game, because everybody will keep their accounts, but start from scratch when it comes to server stability, right? And yeah, but this was a big video that I wanted to do because it really it affects the game so much at this point that you can barely play a match without having lags. It's like they're constant, they're always there, and it's so bad that weapons becoming more better because they are less affected by lags. This is just crazy, right? So War Robots, Pixonic, I mean, please put those lags on your highest priority list if it's not already there, because in my opinion it should be. And I'm hoping you also have some plans for what's remastered to be better there. Yeah, maybe take into account my solution that I suggested. So the fire rate for Molods being bam, 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 bam. They look like cannons, so they could be like this. And Punishers, for example, instead of 50 shots are out, they could be doing, you know, that would be sufficient. And the game and server has to calculate a lot less. And same goes for Ember, Spark, Calamity, Cyclone. These weapons that do 20 ticks per second, that's just unnecessary calculation work for the server. And again, I'm not a developer, I'm not sure if that's causing it, but I personally noticed an increase in lags when the Scourge, Calamity, and Spark came in, and it was being used more and more than Ember. The increased fire rate of Punishers that came around the same time, and that's when the lags became more and more crazy. And of course, all that resistance you are doing, all these resistances, the Leech and Throwback damage, all these counter calculations that have to go all the time. The game has become so more complex when it comes to the systems that are running in the background. All these variables has to be calculated. How about some new robots and some new meta bots do not have damage throwback, like the Hawk. For God's sakes, ladies and gentlemen, please remove the Hawk's throwback damage. I already made a video discussing this. It's so good already. It doesn't need that. And again, it would be less strain on the server to do the calculation work of throwing back damage. That's another thing. And basically it ruins team play in my opinion, because a friend is being hit by a Hawk. What do? I stand by and watch, because if I damage the Hawk, I just damage myself. So I'm not helping my teammate. How stupid is that? In a team-based game, not a good idea in my opinion. Yet another reason to remove that. There's now 3 reasons to remove this from the Hawk. How many do you need to finally do it? I don't know. But yeah, so big video, 20 minutes of blah blah. But I think I was still able to give you some pretty good gameplay, by the way. I'm a little bit impressed with myself. Without being able to constantly to focus on the gameplay, I still did relatively well, I would say. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, and tell me your thoughts, leave a like and comment down below, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe, as brutal as a man can hit for more. Thanks for bearing with me, you guys are awesome as always. Manni-Gaming, whoops, microphone, sorry. See you next time, bye bye.